Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be changing the transmission fluid on my BMW F10 535i. Let's get straight into this. That's right, today I'm going to be changing the transmission oil or fluid, however you like to call it, on my F10 535i. I have the ZF8 transmission. I don't have a manual transmission. As much as I wanted one, I could not find one for a reasonable price. So I got a ZF8, and this is an excellent transmission. It's awesome, it's very fast, and BMW actually uses the ZF transmission now in their newer M cars, which is a testament to how good it is. But today I have to change the oil because I have 80,000 miles on my car and I don't know what the previous owner did with this car. I don't know if they ever changed it. They could have not, who knows? And that's why I'm going to change it because, like I said, 80,000 miles and I don't know if they change it. I'm going to assume that they haven't. So because of that, I'm going to be changing it. And to do that, I have this. This is the transmission fluid change kit that I got on FCP Euro. So it brings this, our brand new oil filter and oil filter housing and everything, the entire pan. It also brings all the hardware that we need, including the new drain plug and the new bolts that you have to reuse the new ones. Of course, you can't reuse the old ones. And we have, like I said, the pan right here. Very nice. It's all you need, and it's very simple. And as for the fluid, we also got 7 of these Liqui Moly ATF Top Tech 1800 transmission fluid for automatic transmissions. The car only needs 7 liters of transmission fluid, but if you don't remove the torque converter, a lot of people say, which I'm not going to be doing because that's way too in-depth for now at least, but if you don't remove the torque converter, then you're only going to get about 4 to 5 liters in and out of the transmission area. So if I don't remove the torque converter, which I won't, I'm only going to be able to get around 4 or 5 liters out, and I'm going to be replacing it with this, with as much of it as possible, hopefully to get around 7, at least 4 to 5 liters. So that's the kit. And all I'm gonna have to do now is jack up the car. It doesn't have to be even, but I wanna make it as even as possible. I'm gonna be lifting from the front and the rear, of course, and I'm gonna be taking off the really big pan that I have to take off a lot of times in the bottom of the car to be able to access the actual transmission fluid area. So let's get straight into that and let's start jacking this thing up. Alright, so the car is jacked up. I have everything here ready to go. I have the towel and everything. I'm getting my impact wrench to get rid of all of these little 8mm bolts holding this whole pan on. The transmission fluid reservoir is right there. The filter and everything is right there. So I have to take off this whole thing to be able to access that right there. And yes, an impact is a little bit extra, but it's just easy to go bzz, 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 instead of having to do each one by one because there are a lot. I think last time I counted around 17 or so. So I'm gonna get the impact. I'm gonna go ahead and start removing these, and then when I get to that, the reservoir, I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so here we are underneath the car, and you can see right here, of course, is the oil reservoir, just for the transmission. The transmission is, of course, right there, and the engine is right there as well. And yes, I know, it's seeping a little bit of oil. That's just a usual N55 oil pan. That's just how they come, basically, from factory. But yes, here we have the oil reservoir for the transmission. It's gonna be very hard to show you guys, but you can see right there is the fill plug, right, that we need to fill it through, of course, and the drain plug. So we're gonna drain this first, and then actually, well, before that, I should say, I'm going to remove these 2 bolts right here that are blocking my access to the fill plug, because without this gone, I just can't access it. And I'm gonna have to use just a regular Allen wrench to get that off. So I'm gonna remove this, open this up to see if we even can get that. Of course, putting the oil catch right underneath it, and then we're gonna start draining it from here, and then remove the entire thing by removing all of these T30 bolts. So let's get right into this and start removing stuff. All right, you can see I just removed that cover right there. I'm not sure what that cover is for, actually. It's probably just a heat shield to keep the exhaust and from the oil from getting too warm. But right there, you can see the fill plug. If I can show you guys, it's very hard and very tight under here. There's very little to none clearance down here, but you can see the fill plug right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start removing this, and then I'll remove the drain plug. And well, wouldn't you know, my camera overheated, but right before the oil started draining. So yeah, I did actually get it out. You can see right there, I managed to use an 8mm Allen and a wrench for an extension to get more leverage and a bit of greater torque. And you can see the drain plug is missing and pretty much all the oil from that area has gone out now. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna remove the drain plug, I'm gonna drain all the oil, and then after that, I'm gonna remove the actual oil pan. And wouldn't you know it, it happened again. My camera overheated. I'm so sorry, y'all. I need to get a better camera. But I finally got out the drain plug and a lot of oil came out. I have to be honest, a lot of oil came out of there and it's still not even out. That was just what was seeping out. So I'm gonna open it up even more, remove it entirely, and then see how much oil comes out from that. But it was a lot of oil that came out. Yeah, it looks like all of it already came out from the seeping, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this over to the side, and that's it. So now it's time to start removing the actual cover. And by the way, this is a very messy job. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but well, unfortunately I didn't record most of it, but the oil falling went everywhere all at once, and when I remove this, I know there's gonna be even more oil because it's just a really big surface area of oil just waiting to be spilled out somewhere. So it's a very messy process. Make sure if you can, use a blanket or something underneath the car and underneath the oil catch so that you minimize damage. Because if I were just doing this on bare concrete, there would be a huge stain. All right, so now it is time to put on the new oil pan. This is very fun, I'm very excited. And it brings new bolts. Use the new bolts, do not reuse the old ones. They are not as structurally integral as these new ones, of course. And the new drain plug with the new crush washer. Use this one, or I should say the filling plug. Use this one. And of course, the new drain plug is right here. You don't need to do anything. You just gotta put this on, but there is a certain order for the bolts in which you must install this. I know, for example, bolt 1 starts here and then bolt 2 is over here, one of these two, but there is an order that you have to follow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, some certain order. There are 13 bolts, and make sure that you don't tighten any of them until you're all ready to go in order, because like I said, there is a specific order they have to do, or else you can compromise the integrity of the seal. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go underneath. I'm going to get my T40 because these bolts are T40s. I'm gonna set my torque wrench to 10 Newton meters because that is what BMW specifications call for the torque for all of these bolts. So all 13 of these bolts are gonna go on at 10 Newton meters in the correct order without tightening them first until they're all on, and then I tighten in the correct order. So I'm gonna put this on. Let's have fun doing this. Do, of course, as well, clean the surface, the mating area where the pan and the actual transmission meet, just to remove any dirt or anything that could possibly get into the transmission. I just like doing this, making sure that there's no risk of debris getting in. Check it out, it's on. I had to stop recording so I could check the picture, which I'll put up right here actually, of the pattern that you should tighten the bolts in. I just tightened it in the correct order. Everything is tightened down to 10 Newton meters. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start filling it up through the fill plug. So now it's time to do the really fun part. Well, fun, maybe not so fun, I don't know. Whatever you call fun. It's time to put the fluid into the actual transmission now. So what I'm gonna be using is this little pump right here. What it does is on this side, I'm gonna put this into one of the bottles, and this just sucks it in, and when I press this, it blows it, blows it out into the transmission right here. I'm gonna put this end into the transmission, the fill drain plug thing, hole right here, and then I'm just gonna keep going, hold this, and push it in. Suck, blow, suck, blow. Have my dad help me. He's gonna hold the bottle. He's gonna have this in the bottle, and I'm just gonna be doing this over and over again until I have every single bottle successfully in the transmission. So let's get to doing this. It sounds like a little race car. All right, I've just finished filling up the entire thing. This thing was the messiest thing I have ever had to do on any car. Every time that I kept pumping in, when they got like near the top or full, it just kept dripping back out. So I had to hold it with my finger and keep pumping, put the fill plug on, turn the car on, let it get a little bit warm, take the fill plug off again, keep pumping, and I had to put my finger to prevent any more from coming out. It was very messy. It was a very tedious process, but I think we got enough. So what I'm gonna be doing now is I'm gonna put everything back the way it was. I'm gonna lower the car down. I'm gonna take it for a drive, and I'm going to let the solenoids and everything and the air get out of the system and let the solenoids do their thing, and I'm going to see what this feels like, and because it's making a little bit of a weird sound right now, but supposedly that's just the solenoids and the air in the system. but I have just finished, and I've actually been driving with this for a while now with the new oil, and it is making a bit of a little sound. I do think I need just a tiny bit more. So whenever I get the chance, I'm gonna get the car back up on just jack stands on one side, fill it up, and then put it back down, see how that goes. But other than that, that I believe is about it. I mean, it was just like a really quick little tutorial on how to change the transmission fluid on your, BMW F10 535i. And I think it's the same for most ZF8 transmissions of this, F chassis generation, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And also, right away, it might be placebo, but I feel as if though the transmission is shifting faster, more aggressively. On Eco Pro, it's shifting nicer and slower and less aggressively. I think that this transmission fluid, which by the way, some people say is a lifelong fluid and a lifetime fluid, that you don't have to change it. I don't know. I changed it because I just felt it was proper maintenance. It just feels better. It really does feel a lot better. Shifts faster, shifts slower when you want it to, faster when you want it to. Sounds better. That little brrr whenever you shift hard in sport mode sounds so good. I really do think that this is proper maintenance and that I recommend everybody should look into changing their transmission fluid every 80,000 to 100,000 miles, I think. This was just a quick video. I really do hope that y'all enjoyed. And of course, always, as usual, subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified when the next video drops about this car, the M4, or another car that's coming in the future. Nothing crazy, but there's another car coming in the future. So stay tuned for that. But like I always say, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Take care.